Let's leave the world of higher order components for now, and let's go back to our demo project and dive into some other useful things you should keep in mind when building React applications, because they might become important. One important takeaway I want you to have is regarding setState. We call it a lot in our application, in the app.js file only though, because of the way that you should use state. Use it only in a few selected components. And there we always use it in an immutable way. So if we assign a person's array, we create a copy of that array so that we don't mutate the original one. And then we mutate this copy and assign the changed copy as a new state. That is exactly how you should do it. Now, sometimes you have a state update which depends on the old state and is a bit more trivial. Let's say we want to have a counter on how often we click the toggle button. So this toggle person's handler, how often was it executed basically? In our state, which we now initialize in the constructor since the lifecycle lectures, there we might have a toggle clicked counter, which is 0 initially. Now in our toggle handler here, we call setState, and there we would now also of course update toggle clicked. And the value, of course, depends on the old value of toggle clicked, because it should be the old value plus 1. So we could say this state toggle clicked plus 1 is the new state. Now, if we save this to see if that's the case, we can use the React Developer Tools. So I will open the React Developer Tools in my Chrome Developer Tools, and now go to the app component, where I can inspect the state. Toggle clicked 0, now it's 1, 2, 3. It's working correctly. And still this is the incorrect way of doing that. Because setState actually is a method executed asynchronously by React. Which means you can't rely on this state being called inside setState to really reflect the latest version of the state. If you call setState somewhere else in the application, basically at around the same time, the other setState call might finish before this one. So this state in here might not be correct. So there is a better syntax for calling this setState if you plan on using this state inside of it. And this is the functional form, the function syntax of it. It looks like this. setState then takes a function, and I'll use an arrow function. And there you get two arguments. The previous state, which you can safely access then, because this definitely is the last state it had at this point of time, and any props you might have. And then in the function body, you have to return an object, which is your updated state. So there you now put in the old code we had. But in there, we no longer access this state toggle clicked, but previous state toggle clicked. And as I just said, this is now safe to be accessed because previous state can't be mutated from anywhere else in the app whilst we are at this setState call. So now with that, if I reload the application, go to the React Developer Tools and select App. Now if I click toggle persons, it works like before. And it will work with the bad approach in many other cases too. But the best practice case of mutating state, if you rely on the previous state, as we do here, is by calling previous state here. This is just a takeaway and a better way of mutating the state if you have the danger of interfering with other state versions. Of course, we wouldn't have had the danger here because we don't change toggle clicked from anywhere else. But if we were to, this is the better approach.